If your space looks like this or this, you've got clothes everywhere, you've got books piling up, and a bed that's unmade, and you're thinking to yourself, it's 2025, what am I doing? I think I need to get my life together. Then you're in the right place, because I thought that exact thing. And yes, I'll admit, New Year's is a really satisfying time to reset and get your life together. And even though it's way past that, it's not too late. I made a little list to simplify things, and you can definitely cater it and customize it to your own threshold and your needs. But here's what works for me. One of the first things is to clean and declutter our physical space, because I know I desperately need that right now. But usually when my physical space is really messy, I can't really think straight, so that's a priority for me. I'm gonna try and do a digital declutter on top of that. I feel like that might be wishful thinking, but I do have like 12,000 photos that I really should get through. Step number 2 is looking back, so you can look forward. Do a little review, whether you're doing this in the new year and you're looking back yearly, or if you're doing this monthly or quarterly and you're looking back on that period of time. I feel like that's really important, because you want to see what's working for you. You want to see what's sticking, what's not, what to change. I also think it's amazing because you can look back on your achievements, the goals that you've reached, or even the things that you're grateful for. And then step number 3 is probably one of my favorites. It's setting the goals, setting the intention, making the plan, and doing a vision board of sorts. For me, I'm also going to incorporate Notion into this, because I feel like that's going to be a really crucial step for how I'm going to organize my life and reach all the goals that I want to do. That is usually the basis for all of my resets, but you don't have to do it in that particular order. You just do what works for you. Today, for example, I'm going to be heading over to a cafe with one of my best friends, and we're going to do a 2024 year in review, set goals, and do a 5-year plan vision board for 2025.
I know which one you want.
Thanks. I like my any of the time.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
I will talk through everything I did on Notion and do a little tour for my 2025 setup. I'll also talk through all of my goals, the templates that I used, and my vision board. But first, I really have to take care of this room because I'm just sitting here and looking at this mess behind me. Just this little part already drives me insane. So let's do a little bit of cleaning together first, and then Notion and all of that fun stuff will just be like a little reward. I did order something to try and help with organization because I feel like this one space I have in particular is my skincare area. It somehow becomes like a dumpster pile because it's right by the door, and I always like come back and I like drop things there and I leave it there. Instead of completely trying to rewire my brain, I'm gonna try and use this box as a catch-all for like my wallet, my keys when I go through the door. But for my skincare, because I use my skincare daily and it's really inconvenient to put it away and take it out every time I need it, I got a little wooden tray to try and help with it. Okay, this is bigger than I expected. Like, it's a raised wooden tray. I feel like this is a psychological thing, but every time you put something on like a tray, it really elevates the vibe and it looks way less messy. And even though you really didn't change anything, it looks so much more organized. This. I was gonna throw this fridge out because it's broken and I wasn't gonna replace it because they always tend to break on me like every 3 months or so. I don't know what happens. But I told my cousin about it and she had a fridge handy apparently, so I don't know. I don't even know how that's possible. But I guess I'll do an unboxing. This is huge. This is literally double the size of the one that just broke. I guess let's go set up my skincare fridge. This is their own product and it doesn't even fit. And there's nowhere else you can move the shelf. This is what I get for trying to be all aesthetic. I spilled my tea everywhere, all over my laptop. I just finished cleaning everything up. Thank goodness my laptop is okay because now we can dive into my Notion. This is what you see when you open up my Notion. I like to call it my front desk because I like to split my life into 4 different categories. The first one being home, which is the actual home page. If this will load, that's basically where I have my menu, a quick area for me to jot down my to-do list. And then in the middle is projects, and projects is basically where I have everything work related, so I do have to blur that out. And then on the right hand side is where I can plan things out. I haven't really fully utilized time block, but it's something I want to do if I want to plan out my day by the hour. And the master list is all of my to-dos everywhere all at once. And then brain dump is just self-explanatory and so necessary. And then you scroll down a little bit, bottom calendar is kind of a timeline for my YouTube videos and a little to-do for YouTube. There's gonna be a lot of quotes throughout my Notion just because I love them so much, but this is one of my favorite quotes. What is the greatest lesson a woman should learn? That since day one, she's already had everything she needs within herself, and it's the world that convinced her she did not. And then a little bit lower is my January vision board. I decided to do a monthly vision board on top of my 2025 one, just so I could have a more honed in focus and be more intentional with my month. Just going through it a little bit, of course we have reading, and then I have editing because that's something I want to get better at. Discipline over motivation. It sounds a little toxic, but like going to the gym when you're not in the mood for it is where it really matters. And then I have a snowboarding photo here because I really want to learn how to snowboard. Up here is just staying more organized, stretching every day, and then I really want to learn to code. And then in creative we have my reading journal, crochet ideas, crochet directories. Crochet idea is basically where I have all of my like planned patterns and planned projects, and then crochet directory is for other people's patterns that I would like to make or what kind of yarn supplies I would need. I'm not going to dive into those too much, and I'm not going to do like a full in-depth Notion tour because I think this video would be hours long if I did, but I can definitely do that if that's something that you guys are interested in. Content Hub is everything YouTube related. We're gonna jump into my reading journal first because I'm so freaking proud of how this came out. The funny thing is it is a template and I got it for like $12, but it was so worth it because, to be so real with you, I am just so lazy and I was not able to maintain a reading journal without this one selling point. in this template. That's literally the book search feature. Personally, I want to track so many things when it comes to a book, and this makes it so easy. I just finished ACOTAR in January, so the next book I would read most likely is A Court of Mist and Fury. Let me put that in the search. A Court of Mist and Fury. Look how easy that was. I can add it to my reading. It'll say book added successfully, love it. I close out of the book search and it's right here. And then when I click into it, I've already have the author, the genre, the page count, and a summary all already populated into my Notion. And if I want to keep track of my progress, say I read 46 pages, it'll automatically tell me that that's 7%. And then I can just add the date I started, finish, keep track of my rating. And then for challenge, when I add it to my 2025 reading challenge, that will automatically count towards my goal when I finish the book. And then that's all being kept track of in the sidebar area, which also tells me how many books ahead of schedule or behind schedule I am. And it says 16 books behind schedule, so I'm not entirely sure if that's correct because that is an alarming amount so early on in the year. Also on my sidebar, I have a link to my Goodreads, my monthly reading statistics, and then a place for me to keep track of my DNF'd books. I haven't DNF'd anything in 2025, thank goodness, but going into my reading stats, I'm obsessed with how pretty this looks. Let me just go into February, for example, so you have an empty template. But this first table will automatically get populated with any books I've marked finish in the month of February, which is so nice. This is for me to add what TBR books I want to finish in February, and then even lower is for me to plan out when I want to finish books on my TBR, because I really do have to be a lot stricter with minimizing my physical TBR. Okay, back on the main page, this to be read section is for all of my monthly TBRs, and then 25 and 2025 is the 25 books I want to finish in 2025, and a lot of these books are books that I would want to read immediately, and then the other half of the books are books that I've been putting off for years and years and just really should get to, like Fairy Tale, Binding 13, A Little Life. And then a little lower is a database of all the things I like to keep track of, like my anticipated releases, all the books I read in 2025, and then every book I read in 2024, and also every book I've rated 3 stars and up. Dream Life is all things goals oriented, and of course I break that down even further into my mind, goals, soul, and apartment. Mind is my mood tracker. It's my first year doing it. I thought it'd be a fun little addition, but I'm really not as on top of it as I should be. Goals is everything you saw me set up earlier in the video. Before I get into all of my goals and stuff, we're going to talk about reflection and planning, and I actually have the template and I'll link it down below for you guys so you guys could use it too. Okay, so starting with the goodbye to 2024, the word I used to describe 2024 was blossom, just because I feel like I grew and nurtured myself in such a healthy way, and I'm really happy with the amount of progress and growth I've made in 2024. And the song that I was obsessed with and also perfectly describes how I feel about my growth is Slingshot, because I feel like I went from 0 to 100 with where I was and where I want to be. Down here you have a year of reflection where you can talk about your big events, the highs and lows of the year, big accomplishments, challenges, and then you can keep track of any favorites you have. And then a year of growth where you can look at the important lessons you've learned, new habits or skills you've developed, and any of the firsts that you've done. And then down here, I love this area the most, a year of gratitude, where you can look back and be grateful for the people, things that you've had in 2024, and then any unfinished business that you want to carry forward into 2025, and what you want to let go of. It's literally perfect. After saying goodbye to 2024, you're going to say hello to 2025. For 2025, my word to describe my year is going to be determination, because I just want to be ruthless with chasing my goals. I'm not going to let anything get in my way. I want to be so determined and resolute that no goal seems too big for me. We Got One Life is the song I chose for 2025 because one, it's just such a high beat song and I want that happy energy in 2025. And also, we do only have one life, so I want to be more purposeful with mine. And then the overarching intention for 2025 is this year I will be consistent as I am determined to make my goals a reality. Here is just a little list of things that I want to do. 3 things I'm going to do for others. I'm going to keep my friends accountable, and that is courtesy of Joyce because we did all the goal setting together and she said that she wanted me to hold her accountable and I want her to hold me accountable, so it's perfect. And then second is to continue to spread positivity and being generous with compliments, because why would would you withhold that? I feel like I'm already very present around friends and family and just anyone in general, but of course I want to be really intentional with my year, so we're writing that down. And then for the habits and skills I want to develop, running and working out consistently is a major thing, because if you can see on my top 3 first, I signed up for a half marathon. It's crazy, but I'm really determined to do it. Second, I want to do embroidery and code. The other first is to move out and live alone, so hopefully I can do that this year. And then third, I have a solo trip, but that's a little scarier because the world is a dangerous place. Down here is my vision board for 2025. I have all of the goals that I talked about earlier, like moving out and living alone up here. I have a little kitten because I really want to foster a kitten this year. And then on top of embroidery, I have a lot of hobbies I feel like I've neglected because I am a girl of many hobbies and it's hard to give each and every one of them so much love, but baking and painting are definitely two I want to do more of in 2025. I also want to have more variety in my cooking, and my boyfriend got me into chess, but I really want to get better at it, so I have a little chessboard on here. And then we've got my running, working out area in the upper hand corner. Basically, it's instead of looking at your year as 365 days, you break your year into quarters. That way you don't overwhelm yourself, but you also build habits that last. And then next to that is the reflection and planning I did, and then I have my habit tracker here. I think I perfected my habit tracker. Basically, I have little buttons on top that will automatically add a habit that I did for that day, and then you scroll down a little bit, and then I have a little vision board for all of my habits. There's a lot that I need to do. And then this is my favorite part, is where all the data is. I have a little bar graph to show how consistent I am with each goal. You can also spotlight which habits to see how consistent you are in a month. I have 10 habits I want to be consistent with, but my best days in January only consisted of 6. So it's definitely a work in progress. And then habit levels kind of shows which goals I'm better at maintaining, which is clearly reading, my skincare, vitamins. As you can see, I haven't ran in a while, and that's mainly because I strained my hamstrings, so I'm on like bed rest until further notice. And then down here is just a list of all of my goals. I went through most of them, like running the half marathon, learning to code. Crocheting 100 little plushies to donate was a project I started in 2024, but a lot of things got in the way and I couldn't complete it. I think I ended up crocheting 20 or so to donate for 2024, but in 2025 I want to crochet the max amount that I can to donate to kids in need during the holiday season. And then my hobby related goals are snowboarding and pottery. They make it look so easy on Instagram, but I know it takes so much skill and a steady hand, so I'm being realistic and I'm setting that goal to making 1 ceramic dish. And then the other hobby goal, as I said, is I would really like to learn how to snowboard. I have skied all of my life, but snowboarding is something that I feel like I would also love equally. Okay, and then soul and apartment, I have to admit, are empty right now, because for apartment I haven't started apartment hunting yet, but when I do, that's ideally where I want to keep track of everything. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with soul yet, but it just seemed fitting to kind of put that there as a placeholder. And then the rest of the page are just little reminders and a list of things that make me happy for when I feel low. But these quotes also really resonate with me. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And then slow down. You really don't want to miss this. It's important to just slow down and take a break so you don't get burned out. And then lastly, we have index, which is just a mishmash of miscellaneous notebooks or pages or random things I just want to keep track of. So I'm honestly not going to dive into everything, but I have a little meal planner here. I have a chore list, my half marathon training plan. Wisdom is just kind of words from wise people and gentle reminders that I would like to look back on. Quotes is for anything I've read and loved from books. Words is for new vocabulary words in both English and Chinese. And then down a little bit more are journal prompts, a resonance calendar, which is kind of a place for links and everything that resonate with me, a life audit, and then my wish list, any fitness tracking, and then a personal tracker. That was everything for my Notion. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this little reset with me. This video was such good motivation. I feel really happy with my space and how productive I was. I'm also obsessed with my Notion setup. I wish you guys nothing but the best for 2025, and I hope you guys achieve all of your goals and dreams. Actually, comment down below your biggest goals so we can hold each other accountable as good friends should. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye!